Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be tearing down this Apple Macintosh Performa, no, not Performa, I meant a Power Macintosh 8100/100W. And this here, I got this a while ago. Oh, oops. So I got this one a while ago, and it powered on for about a millisecond before turning off, and later on I found out it had a bad power supply, and I have not gotten a new power supply for it yet, but I'm still going to be tearing it down and giving you guys a tour of the inside of this computer. But first, we should look at the outside, and this is the back of the computer. So give me a second. Anyways, this is the back of the computer. As you can see, it says Apple Computer Inc., which is nice. So we have the power inputs. This is for the monitor. It's not focusing. This is for the monitor, and this is for power for the computer. So power for the monitor, power for the computer. Here we have some vents, for ventilation on the power supply. It's a pretty large power supply. It's about this big. Here we have a power button on the back. We have a SCSI connector. We have some networking port, video connector, a printer port, because I'm just doing it based off of the icon, a phone port, a Ethernet type port, not sure what this was, another SCSI port, I'm not sure, and here we have audio, microphone, and speaker, and down here we actually have a dedicated video card, so just Apple's proprietary video connector. On the side, it's not much besides for some tape residue and some curvy design. On the front, we have some drives. So we have a SCSI CD-ROM drive here, a floppy drive, and down here underneath this big piece of plastic is the SCSI hard drive. So, of course, this computer uses a PowerPC CPU. We have the colorful Apple logo there. So are some buttons. This here is the reset button. This here is the power button. Another power button. Here's the power LED. And on the side there's nothing besides some sticker residue. On the top here, just something that says needs new power supply. Just stick that on there. On the top though, right here we have a speaker hole. So this thing does have a built-in speaker, which is pretty nice, which means I don't have to connect my own set of speakers, which is, good. Now I have to get it back onto my little tripod stand thingy here. And I wonder why it felt so loose. Anyways, on this side, we also have some icons for the ports on the back. So, which is good. So, why don't we start? That's just my computer rebooting. So, why don't we get in here, crack this computer open by unscrewing the screws on the back here, and we don't have to unscrew these all the way, and we just need to get them out just enough so that they're not holding the back on. And there we go. So I have been inside this computer multiple times, but it was just to explore around it. So, finally making a video, tearing down a vintage Apple. What am I talking about? Well, I just decided to make a video tearing down this computer today because I never made a video tearing down a vintage Apple computer. I thought it would have been interesting. And this front case here is pretty stubborn. So, give me a second. And I'll just take the sticky note off. So, it's a little bit fiddly, but it comes off. And from there on, you have full access to the computer's components. So, first of all, what I'm gonna tackle here is the hard drive, which is an IBM OEM, Apple hard drive. Let me just shut down my computer here. So, anyways, first what I'm going to do is unplug the Molex power, just standard Molex power connector. Then here we have a SCSI connector. So, it's your standard SCSI cable from Apple. So, just a SCSI cable. And then now we can get the hard drive out, which is a pain in the butt. As it's pretty difficult to get out. Sometimes you have to use a little bit of force, and we will be powering this hard drive on later with just a standard IDE to USB adapter. So I'm going to be using the Molex power from that to power this hard drive on, and I'll be talking about this hard drive later. So quick look at it. It's a 1 GB model from 1994, which is pretty cool. It's never been opened up, which is good. And up here we have the floppy drive, and I'll be getting that later. But first, next is to get the CD-ROM drive out, and it's basically just your standard CD-ROM drive, besides the fact that it's a SCSI drive and not an IDE drive. So, and unplug the cables here, and it just comes right off. And as you can see, it's broken. So some plastic has broken off, and now it doesn't slide in anymore. It's just sitting there. But anyways, should put this button back. These buttons down here are kind of broken. They come out and fall out very easily, which probably shouldn't happen. So down here we have the floppy drive, right underneath the CD-ROM drive. So it's a floppy drive, gets power and power from this connector, which also, it's data connector. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. So I can just disconnect that floppy cable, and it's, floppy cable for Apple computers. We have a unused SCSI cable. Actually, no, this was the SCSI cable for the CD-ROM drive. You could also connect another drive if you want, or a couple other drives if you wanted to. It has this little cover over it, and you can disconnect it. So it's just this adapter thing, I guess. I don't know what it is, ground, or maybe I don't know why it's there or what its purpose is. But moving up here, we have a few connectors like power LED right here. So it's a standard LED. It's just an LED. So I'll throw it down there for now. Here we have, what I think is an audio cable for the CD-ROM drive. I know I shouldn't be doing that, but honestly, I really don't care that much. Cable's gonna be fine, trust me. But up here we have a speaker, so a bit damaged. So I'm gonna have to get that out. Both of my hands, so. And those two buttons fell out. It's fine, I'll just put them to the side. There we go. So it's just a little caddy for the speaker right there. So speaker is a bit damaged, but should still work fine. So right here we have the other SCSI cable. So there's a SCSI connector on the top, and there's one down by the bottom of the motherboard for some reason. So here is the power supply connector, and I've actually never been able to get this power supply out for some reason, just unable to. So this is a power supply connector, and there's a lot of plastic on this machine. So I really do not know how to get this power supply out. It's almost like it's just stuck in there forever. But yeah, I really do not know how to get the power supply out. But over here is the motherboard, which of course I'll need a screwdriver to get out. So that's exactly what it's fine. That's exactly what I got. Okay, there we go. And I really wish I could power this computer on. It's a pretty cool computer. The hard drive still looks to be in good health. It's initializing okay, even though people out there say SCSI hard drives are pretty unreliable. I'm not so sure about that theory, but actually, you know, a lot of people say SCSI hard drives are unreliable, but I'll just take their word for it. So what I'm gonna do now is, I have to remove this little piece of plastic down here first. So this is just the little bracket thing to hold the power and reset buttons in. So now I'll be able to push the motherboard out. Unclip that right there. Then we can take a look around the not power supply, the motherboard. And this computer's clock battery has been removed. I forgot if I removed it or if... Actually, I'm not sure if... I think someone else removed it before me, before I got this computer. So, it'd be really cool to get this thing up and running so that I could do a vintage Mac restoration video. That would be really cool. Oh, I forgot to take the video card out. I'm such an idiot. Okay. So before we get the board out, should get this video card out. So here is a VLSI video card. So it's using an Apple connector. And it looks like... Is that supposed to be like that? I don't think so. I don't think that's supposed to be like that, but whatever. So let's just get this thing out. So that is the computer right there. Computer's motherboard. That's the giant power supply right there. So we got the motherboard. It's pretty big, so I'll make room for that later, but this is the computer's case. So just plain old case like that. And there is actually a way to get this back cover off, but I just forgot how since it's been so long since I touched this computer. The power supply looks okay from the outside, so I'm not really sure why it's not working. Looks like, let's try and get the power supply out. So there's that piece of plastic. And okay, so it's just, there's actually not very much connectors on this power supply, so it's really just only a few Molex connectors, and of course that big giant power connector right there. So I think this here is the clip for the power supply. Let me get a small screwdriver in there to keep it open, pried open. So yeah, I think that's the clip holding the power supply in. There we go. I never noticed that clip, I guess. There is the Apple power supply. Mine via electronics. So, not really from Apple, but whatever. So that's just the case. It's just little metal sheets and plastic. And this came from the era that Apple was going downhill, so I guess it's not really a surprise, but let's try and get this power supply open. See what's up with it. The last time I had this plugged in, I had it plugged in for like 30 minutes just to see if that would fix it. Just leaving it plugged in for a while, and my dad smelled something very weird coming out of it. So we had to unplug it. Well, I had to unplug it. So that was pretty unfortunate. And if you're wondering why I couldn't smell, was my nose was pretty clogged that day. And my nose is always clogged for some reason. But that doesn't really bother me. Apparently it's some like tissue swelling up in there. Like swelling up and swelling down. I don't know what I just said. I'm not sure if that made sense. Anyways, just forgetting about that. Let's get this giant power supply part. Things out. There we go. And this is what I call a power supply. Just giant, unnecessarily big power supplies. I'm not sure if this power supply just crapped out or if it's working and there's something wrong with the computer. Let's just get this out. Okay. There we go. So let me just see if I can get this apart. What I need to do now is get this. Oh my god, I'm an idiot! sorry guys. So, that's out. There's the inside of that power supply. Sorry about the camera angle, but power supply looks okay. I think the power supply just crapped out from age. It looks completely fine. Fan looks fine. Well, let's just put it back together. So, nothing unusual with the power supply, which is good. So, oh, that is very misaligned right there. Very, 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 very misaligned. Okay. Oh. Okay. So, let's just screw this power supply back together. I'll try powering this thing up without the video card. Let's, just to see if there's something shorting out with the video card there. Because, well, I never noticed that the video card had something up with it. I have a couple vintage Macs laying around in my house, actually. I have a Macintosh 2. So, one of, the earlier Macintoshes that Apple produced. And a Macintosh 512K. Which does work, but has a bad floppy drive. So, yeah, that's not good. And here is where the barrel battery would have went. Not sure if that's causing the computer to not start up, but I think I was the one who took out the barrel battery. So, taking a look at the computer here, looks like we have some cache sitting right here. So 2 cache modules, I think. These are both from Samsung. So this here is cache. Here's that. This one I think is an Apple original one. This here I think is an extra one that someone added in. Just based on how they look. They're both different manufacturers. So here we have some capacitors. Over here we have the RAM. So we can take a look at that. So Apple, so it's RAM modules. So not sure size of these, but there's 4 sticks and there's 2 different sticks, so this might be another sign that this computer has been upgraded before. Here I think, yep, looks like these were the original ones from IBM. 4 megabyte, so this computer could have come with 8 megabytes of RAM stock from the factory. Here's another 4 megabyte stick. This one doesn't say it anywhere or any sign how much they are. Here's the heatsink covering the PowerPC CPU. So it's IBM PowerPC. I thought it was going to be a Motorola processor for some reason. But, yep, IBM PowerPC. Let me just get a tissue, and some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. So, you can wipe that paste, dermal paste off. So, I think I'm just spreading it around. But that dye does not stick up very well. So, I'll just keep that on there. So, IBM PowerPC 601. So, PPC A601 V5N FC1002. Not sure what that is. Could be a serial number. IBM 1992. Wait. This hard drive is from 1994. Oh, that's just copyright IBM 1992. My bad. So we have more numbers down here. So I'll give you guys. I should focus more on the camera. So IBM 601, IBM 1992. So down here we have more numbers, which is 1951604-1HS. Very nice. And looks pretty good. So there's some sort of foam covering the copper surface here for some reason. Just going to carefully put that back in. Ow. That really hurt. That hurt a lot. Okay. Okay. I have a problem. I can't get the heatsink back on. Okay. Yeah, that's not going back in. So that's not very good. Oh, it's also a pain to get back in. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is gonna take a while to get back on. So, I'll be back in a little bit. So, after a bit of a struggle, or after a while of struggling, finally got the heatsink back on. So, what was causing the issue? The table. Yeah. The table was causing the issue, but I just hung the motherboard off of the table, and then I was able to push the stuff back in. Okay, that is not in there correctly. So I was able to push the little mounting tensioner things, whatever you call them, back into place. It just needed some room. So here we have RAM. And more RAM. There we go. Then we have some cache. Slot that back in. So, cache is back in. Let's get the power supply back into the computer's case. So, right here. Okay. Everything's fine. So, what I'm gonna do is just put the power supply back in. So, just as easy as that. Just push power supply back into the computer case. There we go. That supplies in. And route some cables through. So there we go. Power supplies in. Can put this little tensioner, this little bracket clip thingy back in. Now it's about time. Should get this motherboard in. So take one last look at the motherboard. This cable here is actually for temperature sensor on the computer. The power cable fell out. So gotta get that back in. So, just time to get that stuff back in. So, motherboard slots in without any issues at all. That is clicking properly. Now I can get the bracket, the little bracket that holds the power buttons and reset buttons in. I can clip that back in. So, very nice. Now I can get this little plastic bracket back on this. A lot of plastic in this computer. So, ow. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. Okay. I think it's too low. It needs to align directly with the hole. And okay, it's in. Now all I have to do is screw it back in. screw. There's pretty much there's little to no screws in this computer for some reason. It's all just plastic clips and sliding things. I prefer screws over clips, honestly. Oh, I think it does make the computer heavier. But that's really not important right now. So, before we continue, I think it's about time I test out. I power on those drives that were in the computer. So, I've got my computer here. I'm gonna plug this USB thing in. Plug the power for that USB thing in. Okay, that's fine. And let's try out the CD-ROM drive first. So, since this is a SCSI drive, I will not be able to power it, connect it with the IDE connector right there, but it's just powered on. So, it works. So, it's a tray loading one, not the one that uses that little caddy thing. But, yeah, it works. There's a little eject hole right there. So, it's just a CD-ROM drive. Not really much exciting, or not that exciting. But here's the hard drive. So, I can plug that in now. So this hard drive does work, of course. And it's actually on this bracket that I will remove right now. So it's an IBM hard drive. And there's one interesting thing about this. Well, something that I find interesting myself. So after I get these screws out, I can explain what it is. So there's these little tape thingies, clear plastic thingies that are stuck onto the side of the hard drive. And as you can see, they're a little bit transparent. So as you can see a little bit of the computers of the hard drive platters. See, there's one up there. It's a dual platter drive. And over here you can see a little bit of the head. So let me get my cell phone so you can see it better. So what I'm going to do is plug in the hard drive. I'll just point my phone at it. If I turn it on. You can actually see the computers, not the computers, the hard drive's actuator arm moving in there, which I think is pretty cool. So, not sure if you guys find that interesting, but I do. So you can see it initializing, And of course on this side you can see the platters moving. So pretty cool, and to me, not sure if you guys find it cool, but I just like old hard drives initializing. Old hard drives are fun. So let's just get the caddy back in there. Did I put it in the right? No, I put it on the wrong side. Okay. So I am going to screw the hard drive back into its plastic caddy. There we go. It's time to get the computer back onto my desk. Let's start plugging all of the cables back in. So I can plug the power LED back in. There we go. And then over here I have some more connectors. Connector. Boom. And then there. Oh, yeah. Stay. Okay, thanks. So I can get this thing back in. Ow. Keep hurting myself on these sharp computer parts. As part of that CD-ROM drive caddy. Not sure how that's still there or why it's still there, but it's there. Don't know why I had to mention it either, but I did. Anyways, time to get this right in there. Floppy cable. Get the floppy cable in there. So I'll just slide the floppy drive in there. Slide it in. There we go. It's nice and secure. Now I'm gonna connect the CD audio thing in there. Back in. There we go. Now I'm going to reconnect the SCSI cable or down at the bottom of the computer here. So okay. Cable is in there. Then it just let me just get the hard drive back in there. So there we go, it's in there, nice, neat, and nice and secure. It's in there the wrong way. So what I'm gonna do is just flip the cable. And then There we go. It's a tight fit, you know. Apple computers in the 90s. Wait, I just scratched myself. That was pretty painful, actually. Yeah, that's the exact reason why I don't like working on Apple computers from the 90s. It's just there's too much sharp plastic. I know that's the same with computers, PCs, but it was metal instead. But and it's too plasticky for me, honestly. They're they're pretty cool computers, but it just there's just a lot of plastic. So hard drive is plugged in. I think it's about time to get the CD-ROM drive back in there. So I'm going to plug CD audio back in. Or at least I think that's audio for CD. And I'm going to plug the SCSI cable back in. And then, there we go. So, CD-ROM drive is nice and secure. It's really not, you can just lift it out. But anyways, time to get that weird thin metal bracket thing back in there, which makes the CD-ROM drive look really ugly. Don't know why it's there, but it was there, so I'm gonna put it back on. Oh, I didn't even close the CD-ROM drive back properly when I opened it the first time. So, let's do that. So, let's just get this out. So, it's an Apple CD 300i Plus. Oh, I should probably move my laptop out. So, gonna put it back the correct way. There we go. So, let's just screw it back in. That was my phone sitting on the ground. Honestly, I feel like my phone's more of a pain to use than it should be. So, CD-ROM drive is back, as it should be. Now I can put that weird bracket thing back on. Looks pretty good. Yeah, not bad. Okay. Last thing before we put the video card back in is speaker. Premium high quality speaker. I think that's it. There we go. The one thing I really like about these vintage Macs is that they came with their own speakers, even the desktops. That's the one thing I really like about these. so that I don't have to connect my own speakers later, because, well, I don't really like to do that, because I only have one good set of speakers, and that's upstairs at my test bench where I test all of my new computers I get. So I should probably route. Okay. Forgot my iPad needed to charge. There we go. I hope it's charging. So, speakers plugged in. So before I put the video card in, I will test out the computer. So, let's get a power cable. Now I'm just gonna grab that from my HP Heavy Leon PC down here. So, just take that. Now I'm not sure if this will blow up. I think I once tried to power it on without the video card attached. I don't think that did anything. Yeah, nothing. What's that? Okay, I don't think it's doing anything. Oh, I should get those power button things back in there. Oh, they're right here. So that one's for reset. Yeah, it is still not working. LED is not lighting up. This thing's power supply is dead. But the power supply, yeah, so the power supply is getting power, but the computer isn't turning on. So it's really just the power supply that's broken. Yeah, I can hear the capacitors discharging in there. So yeah, it's dead, it's broken, it's not working. But time to get the video card back in there. There we go. So, I think that's about it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video of me turning down a vintage Mac with a bad power supply. But that's basically it for this video. And where are the... Oh, it's the damn CD-ROM drive thing. Yeah, this thing is causing some issues. So I'm gonna realign those buttons. That one on the front. And you can find a few videos on YouTube of similar models of this computer turning on and, you know, booting up. There's one where this guy took it apart, just like in this video. Okay, so aggressive jumping up and down. Okay. So let's just screw these in. So here we go. Now it's time to screw that in. So the video is officially over. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you subscribe, and bye-bye.